Winter in Vermont is incredible, whether you love downhill skiing or not. This portion of my winter trip to Vermont contains no downhill skiing whatsoever, but I found plenty of other wintry adventures exploring nature and small towns in central Vermont.
Welcome to Mountaintop Resort in beautiful Vermont. We're going to be spending the next few days here and doing some outdoor activities like cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, and having all kinds of other fun.
Mountaintop Resort sits at the top of the mountain, surrounded by even more mountains in the Green Mountain Range. It offers the perfect mix of exhilarating outdoor fun and both rest and relaxation. I stayed in one of the luxury lodge rooms with large windows to soak up the pretty scenery anytime I liked. The rooms have a rustic decor with unique details. All overnight guests have access to the cozy sitting area and fireplace in the lobby, the on-site restaurant, and the fire pit. I dined at the restaurant on a couple of occasions because it's just so convenient. I tried their pad thai one night and a veggie burger with fries the following night. Snowshoeing is one fun winter activity to enjoy at Mountaintop. Bring your own snowshoes or rent them from the activity center. The staff members will provide you with a map and an update on the trail conditions so you can feel confident venturing out into the snow. Going snowshoeing is such a fantastic way to slowly absorb your surroundings and appreciate the beauty of the forest. There are 60 kilometers of trails at Mountaintop. Some trails are groomed trails shared between cross-country skiing and snowshoeing, and others are just for snowshoeing. You've got so many options. Another winter activity at Mountaintop that's fun and free to do is sledding. There are some plastic sleds out behind the resort building and a sledding hill. Fly down the hill on the sleds as much as you'd like. Next up, it's time to go cross-country skiing. I'd never cross-country skied before, but thankfully I had an expert instructor provide me with a lesson. It's easy to get fitted for cross-country skis to rent at Mountaintop's Activity Center.
So I'm all suited up with all my layers and ready to try cross-country skiing for the very first time. We're gonna have a lesson first and then we're gonna hit the trails.
Expert ski instructor Marianne took myself and my two travel buddies out to the trails. She was incredibly patient and taught us all the basics, adding on new skills one by one. This was such a great foundation to start cross-country skiing that day and into the future.
So cross-country skiing is so much harder than it looks. My heart rate is up and I'm a bit breathless. It's a lot of fun out here. Definitely all the layers. I'm feeling really, really warm right now, but this is a lot of fun just to be out in nature.
After my cross-country ski lesson with Marianne, I felt really confident hitting the trails on my own, even if it meant going down some slight downhill sections. If you're already a cross-country skier, you will love the trails at Mountaintop. As I mentioned previously, there are over 60 kilometers of ski trails that are open to the public. You don't need to stay at the resort to access the trails. You'd only need a ski pass from the activity center. I do recommend staying at the resort if you're in the area for quick and easy access to the trails. Mountaintop has its own exclusive spa and salon called Blush Vermont. I had a 50-minute massage after a morning of skiing and it was so relaxing. You can also enjoy the sauna and the outdoor hot tub too. Okay, now we're taking some day trips from Mountaintop Resort to explore more of central Vermont. So if you're taking a road trip to Vermont, you have to visit at least a covered bridge or two. Thankfully for us, there are two covered bridges in nearby Pittsford. Dating back to 1842, the Hammond Covered Bridge is a pedestrian-only covered bridge that you can walk right through. On the other hand, the Depot Covered Bridge is one that you'll be able to drive through. The Depot Covered Bridge is one of Vermont's oldest covered bridges, constructed in 1840. And what would a trip to Vermont be without trying some maple syrup? Baird Farm is a fourth-generation family farm. Jacob led us on a tour of the sugar bush, and we learned all kinds of fun facts about maple syrup and Baird Farm. In an average season, one maple tree produces 25 gallons of sap. It's possible that Baird Farm can gather up to 2,000 gallons of sap per hour on one of their sugaring days. The farm is a whopping 560 acres with 14,000 maple trees. Over 100 miles of tubing transports the sap into pump stations where it's pumped directly to their sugar house. From there, the sap is boiled down to make the maple syrup we all know and love. Then Jacob taught us how to tap maple trees. Essentially, you drill a hole into the tree, put in a little plastic spout, and then hook it up to the line of tubes.
All right.
Yeah. Cool.
I've done this before.
My wall.
Like the spile.
Wait, which way? This.
Oh, I got good gloves.
Not that way.
Oh no.
It's
I'm
okay.
sorry. I won't drop the next one, but
Don't
which way
apologize. It goes like that.
All right.
He'll find it in about 3 months.
Seriously, I lost a pair of sunglasses.
And then my favorite part of the tour, tasting the maple syrup. We got to try 8 different varieties of maple syrup. There are 4 grades, golden, amber, dark, and very dark. The other 4 flavors are infused maple syrup products, sumac infused, spruce tip infused, birch bark infused, and mint infused maple syrup. I have never tried anything like it. On to our next stop, Rutland. This is yet another Vermont town with an adorable downtown. We dined at Roots the Restaurant, a cozy spot with a farm-to-table menu. Our fried Brussels sprouts appetizer was incredible with a sweet chili glaze. I really love my main course, the Korean barbecue glazed tofu and a yellow curry broth. Continuing on my food journey of Central Vermont, for breakfast the next day we went to Sugar and Spice, a family restaurant inside an authentic sugar house. This is a place to enjoy a plate of fluffy pancakes and another excuse to indulge in maple syrup. Plus they have vegan and gluten-free pancakes, as well as a rather extensive shop with maple products and other souvenirs. After breakfast, we hit the road to our next cute small town, Manchester. Our first stop was a visit to Hildene.
Today we are taking a tour of Hildene, which is a historic home and owned by the son of Abraham Lincoln.
Robert Lincoln and his wife Mary built this Georgian Revival mansion as a summer home. We took a guided tour of Hildene, which I highly recommend so you can learn all about the history of the home and the family. There are some really unique features within the walls, like the organ. It's the oldest residential pipe organ in America. It's set up truly as an old-fashioned surround sound stereo system. When the keys are pressed, the sound reverberates through the organ pipes on the second floor of the home and throughout the house.
This here has electric signals that were sent from the organ, either by playing it manually or by these self-playing scrolls. Mary had over 200 different songs that she could plug into this organ, into a player attachment right here, which would essentially send a code or a signal, triggering the bellows in the basement to send the air up into the pipes. We can now trick the organ into thinking it's the same signals, but it has a different source.
Hildene stayed within the Lincoln family until 1975. Lincoln's great-granddaughter Peggy lived in the home until her death, and eventually the property was saved by a non-profit organization committed to restoring and maintaining Hildene and its artifacts. In addition to the rooms of the home decorated with original artifacts and period pieces, there are more exhibits like the American Ideal, focusing on Abraham Lincoln's words through his second inaugural address. You can also see one of Lincoln's original hats. Down the road from Hildene lies downtown Manchester with tons of shops and restaurants to check out. We had lunch at Thai Basil, which has delicious food as well as responsive and fast service. Upon walking down the main street, I could hardly believe my eyes when I saw all kinds of cats inside a furniture store that was sadly closed for the day. Each cat has its own heating pad. I learned later that these are all rescued cats, which is so lovely. Lastly, there's an incredible bookstore right in the middle of town. It's one of the largest independent bookstores that I've visited in a long time. You could totally spend a whole afternoon here browsing the entire place. Inside the bookstore, there's also a book-themed coffee shop called Colburn Cafe. I hope that you enjoyed seeing some must-visit spots in Central Vermont with so many winter activities that I really loved. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay in touch.